This edition of The Work Right with Lori
and Miranda.
On this week's episode, we'll cover everything going on during the week of October 1st, plus a couple of things you want to know.
Here's this week's schedule. Monday, voter registration will be held during Brady's Block. On Tuesday, Ms. Hood will be selling monogrammed yearbooks for $55 each. Underclassmen picture retakes and an FFA field trip to the Heard County Arena will also be today. Softball region tournament, selling tickets last 10 minutes of lunch for $10, and you get to get out of school at 12 o'clock unless you are failing one or more of your classes. There's a cross-country meet at Central Middle School, which begins at 4. The middle school football will take on Bay Springs at 5:30. Finally, on Friday afternoon, there will be an away football game against Temple High School, which begins at 7:30. This Friday is also a student holiday. Don't forget to turn your alarms.
Now over to our reporter, Lena McQuinn with Coach Napier to talk about our homecoming football game. Also, Cody Head is with Mrs. Barnett to see how she feels about teaching here at Heard County so far.
I'm Elena McQuinn, and I'm here with Coach Napier, one of our football coaches. So, Coach Napier, how do you think the football team performed during the homecoming game last week?
I thought we performed very well. When you take into account all the, you don't want to say distractions, but extra activities that go on during homecoming week, and you don't have your Braves block set up, and it's with everything else outside going on, I felt like we came out, competed at a high level, executed, and gave a good product on Friday night.
Do you think that the football team improved compared to how they've played this season?
I think every week we've steadily been improving. You have the one blemish with being the Rockmart game. Besides that, every week we've continually got better and better, and that'll be something that we have to continue to do to be where we want to be at when the Callaways and the Bremans roll around and then postseason play after that.
Were all of the football coaches pleased with how the football team performed during the game?
Overall, yes. It was a different game solely because of the homecoming atmosphere and, like I said, everything else going on. But after talking to the coaches afterwards, we felt, we were pleased with some things we did. But we also knew there was a lot we had to go back and correct. There's some plays that we have to change, have to go back, revise, and then there's some other things going on. We just got to make sure that we have everything going in the right direction and not just mostly in the right direction.
How did the inside linebackers, the players that you coach, perform during the game?
The group overall did well. Leak and J-Rock started off very well, played great. Leak ends up having a small injury, can't play the second half. So then PJ Cofield and J-Rock are running everything, and then I look over there and J-Rock's hurt. So now it's like PJ, you had Alex Boyd and Will Finch holding it down, and you're talking about two junior varsity linebackers who were playing meaningful varsity minutes, and then PJ was a newcomer, so it was a challenge toward the end to make sure just to see the people that aren't usually out there, but it was good to see them get out there and perform and hustle, do all those kind of things the right way.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Coach Napier. Thanks, guys.
Hey, I'm Cody Head, and I'm here with our new Spanish instructor, Miss Barnett. So, Miss Barnett, how do you like teaching here at Heard County so far?
Well, I like it. I like it a lot. I can tell that everybody here is a family. Like, everybody knows everybody, and I like that type of environment, so I'm enjoying it so far.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Miss Barnett. I'm from South Georgia originally. I live right now in Coweta County in Sonoy with my husband, and I'm 38 years old, and I've been teaching for 15 years, or this is my 15th year teaching. I've always taught Spanish. I've taught all over. I'm a family person, so I love my family, and I like to spend time with my family. Other than that, I love Spanish. Just love Spanish culture. That's why I teach. So.
What made you come to Heard County as opposed to other options?
The size of the school. Like, it's a small school with that environment that I was looking for. So, like, closer knit environment, the small town feeling rather than a huge school where you're just, might be off on your own. You might never get to know everybody in the school. And so I'd like to get to know people a lot more, and I'm working on that. So some of the other teachers and just getting to know the students, even if they're not my students, that's what I'd like to do. So that Heard County is small enough for me to do that.
Okay, well, thank you for taking the time for me to interview you, and I hope your year at Heard County goes wonderful.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
Now, let's watch Ethan Sorrentino, Brandon Dixon, and Michael Payton with our segments Lunch Talk, Conspiracy Theories, and Weather.
Hey guys, it's Ethan Sorrentino with today's Lunch Talk. So let's get right into it. If a turtle doesn't have a shell, is it naked or is it homeless?
Neither. It's dead because it's an invertebrate.
See, that's why I asked him. Hey, what is happiness?
Happiness is happiness. I wouldn't know.
How do you get happiness?
I wouldn't know.
You buy it at Walmart for $9.95.
Why does round pizza come in a square box?
Because. Why? Why? Huh? Because. The pan's round. The box is square. You never seen a circle box before.
Right. Why do you wash towels? Aren't you clean? Like wear yourself off?
That's nasty. Why wouldn't you wash towels?
Let's go, buddy. What's happiness? Why does slow down and slow up mean the same thing?
This barbecue is so good.
This bread is hard.
My name is Ethan, and that was this week's Lunch Talks. Hey Heard County, it's your weatherman, Ethan Sorrentino, and this week's weather, it will be Monday, cloudy. The rest of the week, it'll be mostly sunny. And the highest temperature this week goes is 88, and the lowest is 65. So remember guys, if y'all are driving, wear your seatbelt and be safe.
Welcome to another week of Conspiracy Theories. Is this coming hurricane actually a government plot to destroy Eastern America? And did the Iranian menace actually kill Michael Jackson? Michael, tell them about those evil Iranians.
Alright, everyone knows that 2009 was a bad year, but it was really bad for Iran. They had a presidential election that year, and there was this reformist guy, Mousavi, who pretty much proposed to reform everything about the Iranian government, and he used social media to gain supporters and spread his cause, which pissed off the current government and the President Ahmadinejad, who spent over $500,000 trying to secure control of the internet so he couldn't do his work. And come June 13th, when the election results were announced and Ahmadinejad was supposedly reelected, Mousavi and his supporters cried bullcrap, and they took their rage to the streets, and one thing led to another, and the Persian Awakening started, which sought to reform the government, which the Iranian government eventually decided they had to do something to distract the world from it because it was starting to gain attention on Twitter from all the people tweeting about it. So they decided to take out the aging Michael Jackson because they already considered him haram to the Islamic cause. So they paid his physician to give him too much propofol, which would eventually kill him. So on July 25th, he committed heart stop beating, which everybody nearly broke the internet trying to search it up and tweet it and all that. So all the tweets and stuff going on about the Persian Awakening just faded into the background. So a little while after that, it was pretty much dead, and nothing's changed in Iran in the past 7 years since then. 8 of them.
Commit heart, not stop. I love it. The Bye Bye Blue Sky Group is a group of volunteers all over America who are very bent on the idea of the government actually controlling the weather. And they claim to have all kinds of evidence, the biggest one being massive chemtrails. After all kinds of horrific, like, those 100-year storms that happen like every 10 years. A little ridiculous, right? The biggest one was Katrina, or biggest that they found before. And that was the one that pretty much made New Orleans just gone for a while, And they found all kinds of chemical trails, and they really do think there's evidence that the HAARP organization, which is this, they mainly investigate aerospace and stuff. They were actually working with the Air Force to release these chemicals in this air to make bigger and bigger storms. We know that the government has been interested in this since at least the 60s, and there's all kinds of other declassified information that show the government trying to weaponize weather. There's even more chemical trails leaking right now as Hurricane Florence is arriving. And the only reason that we could actually think of that the government is doing this is to get all that, that money that people donate to anything when they see like sad stuff on TV. When they see people with flooded homes, they start donating these things, and the government just takes the money and puts it into the national bank. And that's our theories this week. Please tune in next week to hear more about them.
That's all for this week's episode of The War Cry. Stay tuned for next week's episode, and remember,
It's a great day to make a play.
He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy,